Claude Code is everywhere right now, and if you haven't tried it because you think it is only for developers, then this video is just for you. In this video, I will be breaking down Claude Code for you step by step. We will start by understanding what exactly is Claude Code. Then I will be showing you how you can set it up in literally a few minutes, and then we will be building a real-world project together using plain English. It's all going to be beginners friendly and no coding background is needed. So if you're ready, let's get started. So let's start by understanding what exactly is Claude Code. So Claude Code basically acts as the bridge between you and your project. It lets you describe your requirements in plain English and furthermore converts it into production level code. To describe it in 3 words, Claude Code is nothing else but an agentic coding tool. It doesn't just chat with you, it takes action inside your project. It creates file, it edits code, and it builds real software. Just to give you a difference, a normal chat app would give you suggestions or it might also give you snippets of code that you can copy paste. But this agentic tool basically goes into your files, modifies the code and does the job for you. And it's not running on the cloud and making guesses. Instead, it runs inside your project folder, looks at your code and then decides what to do and takes action. If we talk about the different types of projects it can help you with or its use cases, actually there are a lot more than I could incorporate here. But to give you a high-level overview, it can help you create web applications, it can help you create websites or anything that you see on the web. It can help you with APIs, it can help you with backend logic, it can even help you with automations as well as scripting. It can help you refactor your existing code or even debug errors in your existing code base. Claude Code is the most powerful agentic coding tool as of today's date. And regardless of if you're working in a technical field or a non-technical field, if you're a technical person by heart or a non-technical person by heart, I would highly recommend you spend some of your time trying to explore Claude Code. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Claude Code can act as a technical partner for you and it can help you do a lot of tasks that you are doing manually at the moment, or it can help you achieve those tasks that you would otherwise outsource. So that's enough about Claude Code. Now let's go ahead and set it up in no time. Now, there are many different ways using which you can access Claude Code. You can access it through your terminal. You can access it via an IDE. An IDE is an integrated development environment which lets you store your code, organize it, edit it, test it, debug it. You can also access Claude Code through the web or iOS, which is again a very recent development. And you can also access Claude Code directly from Slack. Now, for a beginner or who is just starting to explore Claude Code, I would recommend you go with an IDE. It's your choice with which IDE you want to go with, but for this video, we're going to go with Visual Studio Code. So it's an IDE by Microsoft itself. It is open source. All you have to do is go to their website and simply download it. Once it is downloaded, we're going to click on Open Folder. Let's create a new folder and let's call it VS Code so that all the projects that we work on are within this single folder. And within this folder itself, let's create a new folder and let's call it our first project. Now, VS Code has its own agent, as you can see on the right, but we are looking for Claude Code. So we're going to go to extensions here and we're going to search for Claude Code. And out of all of these, install the one which is by Anthropic and the one that is verified, okay? It should have about 4.3 million downloads, something around that number, and about 4 stars. So just install that. Alright, trust and install. Claude Code was added as a plugin for VS Code very recently. Before this, you would have to run a command to install it, but now the process is quite straightforward. Alright, so that is done. Now let's just extend this here and you can see Claude Code right here. Okay, so let's close this and let's close this. So the first thing that it's going to ask you to do is to log in. So Claude Code does not offer a free tier at the moment. So as you can see here, Claude Code can be used with your Claude subscription or built based on API usage through your console account. So I'm at Claude's pricing right now and this is the Pro one that can help you get started with Claude Code, which is at $17 a month or $20 if billed monthly. Then you have Max and then you also have Team and Enterprise plans. So that's one way to go about it. You subscribe to this subscription and you log in and you start using Claude Code. The other way is to use the API. Using the API lets you pay as you go. So you only pay for the tokens you use. Now, as you can see, pricing differs for different models and so does the performance. And the pricing that you're seeing here is for 1,000,000 tokens. It's different for the input and different for the output. Now, it's your choice which one you want to go with, but I'm going to go with their API. So all you have to do is search for Anthropic console, go to the first link, create an account or log in into your existing account. Now, this is a Claude developer account and not your usual Claude account, okay? So if you don't have one, just create one. After that, just head over to API keys and just create a new API key. Let's call it Claude code and let's copy it. Then head over to billing. And if you created a new account, you will see that you have $0 as your credit balance. So you'll have to go ahead and buy credits. So you can buy anywhere from $5 to $100. I would recommend you go with $5 to get started. Alright, so that is added. Now going back here, if you're going with my method, you're going to click on the second option, which is Anthropic console, which is pay for API usage. Or else if you have an existing Claude subscription or you're buying one for this, then you can go with the first option and log in into your Claude account. So for us, let's go with this. Let's open this. Alright, click on authorize. And that's it. It actually didn't ask for the API because we were already logged in. In case it asks for the API key, just paste the one we just now generated. If not, then all good. And with that, Claude Code is ready to be used. Wasn't it easy? Before we move forward, a quick introduction about myself. So hello everybody, my name is Yashica Jain. I am an AI automation expert. I run an AI automation agency called Automates AI, wherein we help businesses automate their manual processes using AI and its applications. So if you're interested in getting your business automated with AI, or if you have a custom AI project in mind, don't forget to check out our website's link, which is there in the description. Apart from that, I'm also an AI consultant. So if anyone's looking to get on a one-on-one call with me, you'll find the link to my calendar in the description. If you're interested in the AI and automation space, especially the no-code and low-code area of it, then I would highly recommend you subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to connect with me personally, you'll find the link to my LinkedIn account in the description. Just send me a connection request there. So that's pretty much it about me. Let's continue with the video. And yes, this video has been sponsored by Hostinger. So let's quickly see what all we have here. So at the top, you can have a look at all your past conversations. It is very similar to, recent chats in ChatGPT or Claude. And then here you can type the message and here you can control the permissions. So it has 3 different modes. The first is ask before edits. So every time it makes any edit to the code, it's going to ask you for permission if you select this. If you select edit automatically, then it's going to edit your code however it wants in whichever way without taking your permission. And the last is the plan mode. So when you want to plan things instead of building anything, then you can choose this one and later on switch back. If you're using Claude Code on an existing project like your existing website, existing code base, then you should go with ask before edits. But if you're using Claude Code to build something from scratch, you can go with edit automatically to save time. Here you can attach any attachments if needed, files, images, anything. And then this one is interesting. So this one lets you manage context. It also lets you choose the model that you would like to use, and you can also customize a couple of things here. Then comes a few / commands that you can use. For example, cost, debug, insights, review, security review, and then a few general settings. Firstly, let's go to model and let's click on switch model. So now these are the options you have. It is currently using the Sonnet 4.5 and you can clearly see the pricing as well. This is for the input and this is for the output per 1,000,000 tokens. Then we have Opus, we have Haiku. So I'm going to go with the default one, which is Sonnet 4.5 for this one. If you're working on something complex, then I would recommend you go with Opus 4.6, but obviously it costs more, but obviously it gives you better results. And just in case you're testing and experimenting, you would also use Haiku. So far, we've seen what is Claude Code and how we can set it up in a few minutes. And now it's time to put Claude Code to work. As promised in the beginning, now we're going to use Claude Code to build a real-world application for us from scratch. So let's quickly make sure everything was set up correct. So let's say, hey Claude. Alright, we got a response. So hey, I'm ready to help with your software engineering tasks. What would you like to work on? So since this is a beginner's friendly tutorial, we're not going to overcomplicate the building process. And for the sake of this video, we're going to build a newsletter landing page. So you might have seen those landing pages where you can go ahead and subscribe to someone's newsletter by dropping in your email. So today's goal would be to design that landing page and also make sure that the backend functionality is working fine. Now, I know that the project that you want to build is going to be obviously different from what we are building in this video, but the reason why I'm choosing this is to show you the process. How do we get the first prompt? What happens once we get the first prototype? How do we review it? How do we test it? And how do we finally deploy it? So no matter if you want to build a web app, if you want to build a website, if you want to build an internal tool, if you want to build an automation, I would highly recommend you watch this process and then replicate it when you are building your project. So now it's time to give it the first prompt where we very clearly mention what we want to build, what are the functionalities that are needed so that it comes up with the correct skeleton. Now, it's up to you if you want to write the prompt yourself, but here I'm going to use the help of an LLM. In this case, Claude, but if you want, you can also use ChatGPT. So we're going to ask it to help us draft the initial prompt for Claude code. Then in plain English, we're going to define our requirements and the end product that we're looking for. And it should be help me instead of help us. Okay, just going through this. So I have told it that I want to develop a newsletter landing page for my newsletter. I want the copy of the landing page to be convincing. Now it's up to you if you want to provide the copy for the landing page. If not, then you can use Claude Code to generate it for you. So I just told it that it should be convincing. I've told it that while I need the backend to work, I also want the front end to look pleasing to the eye. The name of my newsletter is Vegan Diet 101. The color palette is light green, cream, olive green, and black. The landing page must look aesthetically pleasing. The corners of the buttons, boxes should be curved. There must be hover effects. Use a font that best matches my use case. My target audience is people who want to turn vegan and people who are already vegan and are exploring new diet options. My newsletter includes recipes, food options, alternatives, motivation, and new products in the market for vegans. It's a weekly newsletter that is sent out every Thursday. The goal of the landing page is to convert every visitor. For the time being, I would just like to collect their email, and on the backend, I would like to store it inside an Airtable. Make it desktop, mobile, and tablet friendly. Now, if you think for a moment, you don't have to be technical enough to write these pointers. Anyone can type these, and after that, it is going to be Claude's job to come up with the technical architecture for Claude Code. Now, some of you might think, can we not just paste these pointers directly inside Claude Code and ask it to do this for us? Well, you can, but in case you're optimizing for cost, if you're optimizing for tokens, then I wouldn't recommend you paste it directly there. I would recommend you come up with an initial prompt and send that to Claude Code. Alright, so this is what Claude gave us. So project, Vegan Diet 101 newsletter landing page, brand and content, design requirements, copy and conversion, functionality, technical. Please create a landing page that maximizes conversions while maintaining a beautiful on-brand aesthetic. Now, while this prompt looks good, Claude has not given any direction to Claude Code. Like, it has just, rephrased whatever we wrote. So let's fix that. Alright, so I told it that you must act as the technical director, Claude. Use your intelligence to give direction to Claude Code. Include the technical architecture along with specific guidelines that could help Claude Code. Just don't rephrase what I've told. Because if you look closely, it has not mentioned which coding language it should use, what is the exact backend it should use. So let's go ahead and send this. Alright, so now we're talking. So it has clearly mentioned the color palette, like the hex codes, everything. It has mentioned the conversion strategy. It has also mentioned the technical architecture. As you can see, it has mentioned everything. So now the thing is, if we send this prompt, it's going to consume a lot of tokens. So I told it that now I want you to remove the obvious, keep the directions, and rewrite this prompt such that it consumes the least amount of tokens while giving the most amount of value. Let's also ask it to return the final code in a code block so that it's easy to copy paste. Alright, so now we have the final initial prompt that we are going to send. So as you can see, it has everything that is needed and it has removed the clutter. So let's copy this. Let's go back here, paste it, and let's hit send. Okay, so it is identified that we're starting with a clean slate and we don't have any existing files in the code base. And I just love how it uses these different words to tell that it is thinking or it's doing its job. So based on our initial prompt, it has come up with an implementation plan, as you can see. So building a production-ready newsletter subscription landing page for Vegan Diet 101, a weekly newsletter targeting aspiring and existing vegans. Here we can see the approach, what is the technology stack. Now obviously the initial prompt gave it some direction, but then this is the final stack it is going with. So it's going with Next.js 14, it's going with Tailwind CSS. For animations, we have Framer Motion, and for the backend, we have Airtable via its API. It has also divided it into different phases, as you can see on the screen. Now at this point, you'll have to go through the entire implementation plan. If you want to make any changes, if you wanted to do something in a certain way, you'll have to tell it what to do instead. But if you want to approve the plan, you can simply click on yes and auto accept. Now it's going to ask for your permissions while it's doing its job. Now it's up to you if you want to just approve or disapprove, but I would go with yes, and I would like to allow similar commands for this project. Alright, so we have got our first prototype. As you can see, completed implementation. Here's the structure and everything. And it's clearly saying that your app is running at localhost 3000. So if you click on this link, you will be able to see the first prototype it came up with. And it has also written a complete README file with all the instructions. For example, how you can set up Airtable. It has also mentioned the common issues, troubleshooting, rate limiting. Alright, so firstly, we will have to go ahead and configure Airtable so that every time someone submits their email on that particular landing page, it lands into our Airtable database. Now, I know it should land directly into the newsletter software, but for demo purposes, we will just make it land inside an Airtable database. It is also clearly mentioned what all fields your database should have, what are the names and what are the field types. So let's head over to Airtable. And let's create a new database. Let's call it subscribers. In case you don't have an account, I'll put the link to Airtable in the description. It's free to get started with. Like, until and unless you scale, you don't have to pay them. So let's close this. So the table name is subscribers. Sorry, the database name is subscribers. So let's see. The first field here is email. So let's edit the first field. Let's call it email. And the type is going to be single line text. The next one is the subscribed date. So let's edit this one, let's call it the subscribed date, and let's make it a date field. And the last one is the source. So let's edit and let's add it. This is also a single line text. Alright, and now we can get rid of the extra fields here one by one. Okay, now let's get our API keys. So just click on your icon and go to Builder Hub. Then go to Personal Access Tokens and create a new token. Just in case you don't know the steps of how you should get the API key for a certain platform, you can again ask Claude Code. So let's give it a name, newsletter, landing page, Claude Code. For the scope, we are going to add all the scopes. And for the access, we're just going to select the subscribers base and create. Copy the token it has given and then head over to the env.local file and just paste it here. Now it is asking for the base ID, which should be in the URL. So it generally starts with app, which is APP. So let's just copy that. It comes right after airtable.com and let's paste it here. Let's save that. Now just to be clear, this is not an API key. Instead, it is a personal access token because Airtable has depreciated their API key. So let me just quickly make a note of it here. Alright, so I've told it that I have entered the personal access token in the env local file since the API keys are no longer used by Airtable for REST API. Even if someone does not know this, when they will go to generate the API key, it will show the warning. Alright, so that is good. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the first prototype. Alright, so this is the page it has generated. Vegan Diet 101, your weekly guide to plant-based living. Join thousands of aspiring and experienced vegans receiving delicious recipes, nutrition tips, and sustainable living advice straight to your inbox every Thursday. Then we have enter your email box. We have a subscribe now button. We respect your privacy. Unsubscribe anytime. What you'll get. nutrition expertise, weekly recipes, community support, and exclusive content. Vegan Diet 101, empowering your plant-based journey, one newsletter at a time. Alright. I mean, not bad for a first prototype. Let me try entering an email here. Alright, so we got this error, something went wrong. So let's go back to Claude Code and let's tell it that I tested the app. The UI looks good at first glance. Then I've told it that when I tried to submit my email, it showed something went wrong, please try again. Then I've told it to look into this issue and resolve it so that every time someone adds their email, it lands directly inside Airtable. Now, it's very necessary that you give it the full instructions and you just don't tell it to fix this error if you don't want to go into that loop of, fixing it again and again. So let's send this. I have a feeling that it could also be because of the table name. So here the table name says subscribers, but our table name is still table 1. So let's change that as well. Alright. Now let's go ahead and test that functionality one more time. So I'm just going to refresh this. And now let's click on subscribe. And it worked, I guess. It's saying you're subscribed. Check your inbox for our welcome email. Coming back to Airtable, yes, it worked. So we have the email, we have the date, and the source. Let's get rid of these extra columns in the beginning. Alright, so that functionality is working all fine. So this is how you troubleshoot these small issues without being stuck into the loop of fixing them. So now that we know that the backend functionality we needed is working fine, it's time to now work on the front end. No doubt this is looking good and it's not that bad, but it could have been better. So the best way to fix a front end is to give Claude Code examples of the UI that you like. And the best way to search for examples is to just go to the browser and search for it. So I first searched for newsletter landing page examples, but the examples were not that great. I didn't like the UI. So then I decided to search for vegan diet website examples. Now I know it's not for newsletter websites, but still we can find some good examples here. For example, this is a good design. Then this one really caught my eye. I mean, just look at it. Now, it's not that we're going to copy the exact same thing as is. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to take it as an inspiration. So let's copy this image. Let's go back to Claude Code. First, let's tell it that I tested the app, or let's say I tested the website. The functionality is working all fine. And then I'm telling it that now it's time to improve the UI. So let me first attach the image I copied. So I've told it that while keeping the structure of the landing page as is, improve the UI by taking inspiration from the given image. To be honest, not even the UI, it's the front end. Improve the front end by taking inspiration from the given image. Focus on the icons and the elements, mix and match. So now let's hit send and let's see what changes it does to our existing front end. Instead of telling it that make this green, make this blue, make the text large, do this, do that, it's always better to give it screenshots and examples of other websites, other web apps, other designs that you like. It's going to help you save tokens. It's going to help you save time. Alright, so it seems it took inspiration from it, and now it's saying that your landing page now has a warm, organic, and inviting design. So let's check it out. Okay. So we have a few elements here and there. Vegan Diet 101. Okay. Alright. This one is looking a little off. Okay, this is better. But I feel it looks a little childish for some reason. So let me give it feedback. Alright, so I've told it that the new edits look good, but the final landing page is looking childish. Make the design look subtle, elegant, and premium. Remove overly playable elements. Add hints of dark green and black for contrast. Introduce text effects where needed. The text on the button is looking off too. Fix the positioning of the text inside the button. Introduce motions if helpful. So this is purely feedback on the front end. So it's again saying that it has refined the design. So let's check. Okay, so now we're talking. Vegan Diet 101, your weekly guide to plant-based living. Alright, I think the copy is still the same. Okay, ad-free, no spam, unsubscribe anytime. What you will get every week. Okay, great. It has added these social icons as well, but I don't have any links. Otherwise, I would have provided those. Made with love for the planet. Now this is what you call a good design as compared to that childish design it came up with. So there are a few rounds of back and forth when it comes to front end and design, but then at the end you get a good result. Now I know the background looks plain, but I think it is actually complementing this design right here, so I'm not going to change anything there. Let me one more time add my email and make sure it is working fine. Alright, yep, it is. Now if you want to change the copy, you can. And by the way, when you select it, the color is green, which is great. So if you want to change the copy, you can, but I think it's pretty good for a newsletter landing page. Now, most of the tutorials would end here as soon as they show you how you can create something with these vibe coding platforms. That's it. The demo is done. Let's end it. But we're not going to end it here because I want to also show you how you can deploy it on the real web. Because right now it is running on localhost 3000, which is your local port, meaning no one else on the internet can access it except you. So now it's time to take it live on a real domain using real hosting. If you come back to VS Code, you will be able to see the different code files that it has created. And in order to get it live on the internet, we need to take all of these files and we need to host it. Now, there are different ways using which one can deploy a Next.js web application. For this video, we're going to use Hostinger as our provider, which I have been using personally for a long time for my own website's hosting and is also the sponsor of today's video. Hostinger provides very affordable cloud hosting plans that can help you deploy your web applications, websites very, very easily. And their cost to performance ratio is unmatched. And not only that, they also provide a free domain up to a year so that you don't have to purchase it separately. So you'll find the link to this page in the description. Go ahead and click on that link. That will bring you to this particular page. All you have to do is scroll down here. Right here, you can choose the plan that best suits your use case. So there's startup, there is professional, and there's enterprise. So for the Next.js app that we just now developed using Claude code, the startup plan should be more than enough. So let's have a quick look at the resources. So the first point itself is 10 managed Node.js web app. So as you can see, you can deploy and host Node.js web applications built with frameworks like React, Next.js, Vite, Vue, and others, which is exactly what we want. Then we have 2 CPU cores, 4 GB RAM, 100 GB NVMe storage, and a limit of 100 websites. And as I said, you get a free domain for an entire year. You have unlimited SSL, which keeps your website protected. You will also get 10 mailboxes per website, which are free for 1 year. I'm also using Hostinger's mailbox for my professional email. They offer 24/7 support. So if you're facing any issues, you can reach out to their support and get immediate answers. And the best thing, there is a 30 days money back guarantee. And the cost, just 549 rupees a month. And if you go with their 48 months plan, you will also get 3 months of free hosting. So you will find the link to this page in the description. Go ahead and choose the plan. Right here, you can select for how long you would like to get this cloud professional hosting for. So with the 48 months plan comes 3 extra months of free hosting, as I said. Right here, you can have a look at the order summary. Now, there is a special offer going on which is going to be live till the end of March 2026, under which if you go with any of the plans that are of 12 months or above, you can use the coupon code Yashica20 to get a flat 20% off on your cart value. So in this case, it's going to work for the 12 months plan, the 24 months plan, and the 48 months plan. So it's a 20% discount on top of the price that it's showing you. So I'll make sure to mention this coupon code in the description. Don't forget to use my link and don't forget to use this coupon code to save extra money. So once everything is set up, all you have to do is click on continue and complete the purchase. Now let's go ahead and deploy our application live on the internet. So as soon as you buy it, it's going to take you through an onboarding process. And during that onboarding process, you can just select that I have hired somebody to migrate my website. After that, it's going to take you back to this dashboard wherein you can head over to websites and you will spot the Cloud Professional plan right here. So before we go ahead and complete this process, we will have to go back to Claude code one more time. So there is a last step which is going to make our code ready to be taken live, ready to be deployed. Everyone has to do this step regardless of if it is a website or web application. If you want to take it live on the internet using Hostinger, then you have to do this process so that the deployment is smooth and you don't get any errors. So this is the final prompt that we have to send it. So I'm going to mention this prompt in the description so that you can easily copy paste it. In case you watched my anti-gravity video, in that one as well, we sent this exact same prompt to make it ready to be deployed. Alright, so let's hit send. Alright, so we're all set. So now I want you to go to the folder that you had created within which you have all your code files and just zip the folder. So basically compress it. If you want, you can also rename it. And while this is happening, let's go back to Hostinger. And here, let's click on add and let's select Node.js web app. Then it's going to ask you to choose a domain name, basically the address for your website. So you're going to get a domain free for an entire year with your Cloud Professional hosting. So you can easily choose the domain that you would like to get. So you can put the name for it and you can register it. I had already chosen a domain for one of my previous demos. So I'm just going to choose that because this is just for demo purposes. And let's click on next. Alright, now out of these, we're going to click on upload your files. And right here, we have to upload the zip folder that we just now created. Alright, it is uploading and let's continue. For the node version, we're going to select 20 and then let's add the environment variables. The environment variables are basically our API keys and the variables from our env local file. So if you come back here, it has already mentioned the environment variables that we need to add. So let's copy them one by one. So this is the first one and the value is the actual API key. And you'll find all the values in the env local file. You can just copy it from here. Let's paste that. Let's add another one, which is the base ID. And here's the value. Then the table name. So since we just had 3 of these, I was just able to copy paste. If there are more, you can just directly import your env file. Okay. Alright. So just have a look. Everything looks good. And let's click on deploy. And the deployment is in progress. Alright, and the deployment was successful. As you can see on the domain we selected, we have our website live. So let's quickly check if this functionality is working fine. So let me just add an email here. Alright, that is done. And there we go, we got it right here. And that is how we not only develop but also deploy. Now, as I said, Claude Code is not just limited to one particular use case. In this one, we mostly saw the web apps use case. Claude Code can also be used for these other use cases that I mentioned and a lot more that I haven't mentioned here. So I will be posting more videos in the future where I show you how you can use Claude Code for other use cases. For example, how you can use it to create AI agents, a team of agents, and a lot more. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and make sure the bell notification is on so that every time I post a video, you get a notification. Today's video was beginners friendly. I tried to cover the fundamentals so that anyone who has never set up Claude Code before, who has never used anything like this, can easily do it. But in the coming tutorials, we're going to take a step forward and we're going to move towards the advanced side of things. Maybe skills, maybe MCPs, plugins, whatever it is, we're going to get into it one step at a time. If this video was valuable, don't forget to like the video and don't forget to drop a valuable comment. If there is a particular use case you want to see, then let me know in the comments below. If there is any other video you would like to see again, let me know in the comments. If you would like to connect with me personally, don't forget to send me a connection request on LinkedIn. If you're interested in working with us, then you'll find the link to my website in the description. If you'd like to get on a one-on-one call with me, you can have a look at my consultation calendar, which is in the description. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. We saw what is Claude Code, how you can set it up, and we also built a real-world use case and finally deployed it too. So yeah, I'll wrap up here. I will meet you in the next video. Till then, bye!